Number 6 in our post-spring ACC power rankings. This is where it gets a little questionable, but we've got Florida State. Obviously, it's very rare you pick a team coming off a 2-10 regular season to be in the top 6 of a conference the very next year, but they are going back to the well. They're going back to that transfer portal. 2 years ago, it really helped them out. Last year, not so much. They got the number 6 portal class coming in. We'll see if it works this time. On the defensive side of the ball, I got Elijah Herring over from Tennessee to come and revamp and anchor that D. Offensive side of the ball, they're going with another transfer quarterback, Tommy Castellanos from Boston College, Deuce Robinson, wide receiver over from USC, Squirrel White. Most importantly, though, you'll love this. Most importantly might be the acquisition of offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn.
I agree 100%. I think overall the coordinator hires that Mike Norvell made could end up paying in huge dividends in year one. With Malzahn as OC, I mean, when Malzahn's just calling plays, like he's been a solid play caller. I mean, you can question some of the stuff he did with the elevating the quarterback play at Auburn of a few different quarterbacks when he was there later in his career, or even last year with KJ Jefferson at UCF. But when the dude is just calling ball plays, that's what he's best at, man. That really is. That is his wheelhouse. And then the hiring of Tony White, pulling him away from Nebraska, Nebraska's defensive coordinator. I mean, Tony White, when he was at Syracuse, was putting out some of the top defenses in the country quietly. When he was at Syracuse, when Dino Babers was the head coach there, did the same thing while he was at Nebraska. Putting out really, really good defenses 2 years in a row under Matt Rule. And obviously, I think he's going to do the same at Florida State. They needed a change. They needed some new faces. They needed to revamp that staff. And I think that Mike Norvell has already talked about that they're going to try to have a little bit of a different approach as far as like not just revamp everything through the transfer portal, try to be more of the what everybody says might be the magic formula if you can help it, which Florida State should be able to help it, which is build through high school recruiting and supplement it through talent that you really need at certain specific positions through the transfer portal. Obviously, they needed that at the quarterback position because Gus Malzahn's offense, for it to really hum, he needs that dual threat. He needs the running ability from the quarterback position for that offense to truly hum, for it to succeed as well as it can in Gus Malzahn's system. If you think about all of the Malzahn teams that have put up the best offenses production in his career, they've all been really good dual threat quarterbacks. And Castellanos should be able to do exactly that. The way he left Boston College, a little questionable, but he's been given the keys to the kingdom there in Doak Campbell this year. Obviously, they start off with a tough game against Alabama right out of the gate. But you said it, man. I mean, I think that most people, if they're really, being honest with themselves, that was a complete admiration last year, what happened. I mean, 2-10, that's not what Mike Norvell and Florida State are going to be consistently going forward. I mean, if you really want to look at it as far as the biggest jump from last year to this year as far as win totals are concerned, I mean, you got to think that improving their wins from one year to the next, I mean, Florida State's probably going to be somewhere falling in line of that kind of 8-win range this year, somewhere around that line. I mean, it's hard to improve your win total from one year to the next, like 6-7 wins, but Florida State's poised to be able to do that this year. They've still got tons of talent. They got really good coaches. Mike Norvell's a really good coach. They went undefeated the year before. He didn't forget how to coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the right side, they're 15-11 in their last 26 games.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean that's a great program. There's going to be 30 for 30s probably about the 2024 Florida State fall off at some point. Like that is a wonderful case study in the new transfer portal era about how if you hit, it can be very fruitful for you. If you miss in the transfer portal, it can really tank you. And that's obviously what happened with Florida State. But I think they're going to be much better this year. Again, I could see them being in that kind of 8-9 win range this year and a big bounce back year for the Noles.
That's a good question for later on in the offseason is what team has the best chance to be this year's Florida State? Meaning they went through the portal, they got high expectations, and they just fall on their face. But my question to you is how scared are you going to be week one? You turn on that game and you see Gus Malzahn on the other sideline calling plays against your defense.
Yeah, he definitely had some success in his day coaching against the Knicks. He was kind of the Auburn in general was really the team that was kind of there wasn't really a kryptonite for Nick Saban in his time at Alabama, obviously, but Auburn did have a little more success than other teams did when he had Nick Marshall as his quarterback, and the year that he had Jarrett Stidham with Kerryon Johnson at tailback, they got Bama that year at home. But really, when they played Alabama at home in that snake pit there in Jordan-Hare, Malzahn definitely dialed up some ball plays. And obviously, you got to think that he's really excited to be able to call some plays and have a ton of time to prepare all off season for Alabama. But it's a little bit of a different defense, obviously, with Kane Wommack. Nick Saban's not there anymore. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all to see them have a little, some success week one with a dual threat quarterback like that against Alabama's defense. It wouldn't shock me at all.